Again, another short video just showing a bit of news. Like I say, it's coming in thick and fast. Judges are fighting back against Boris Johnson, and they're right. Well, this isn't really an article about a judge fighting back, it's about a judge speaking out. You know, judges are very concerned because as this particular judge, Lord Kerr, who is now, I think, retiring. Judges are a serious matter. Johnson has appeared to delight in infuriating them, perhaps in response to how the Supreme Court humiliated him on his failure to recall Parliament last year. He sees judges as leading the field in enforcing European human rights laws. They're not European human rights law, they are British and international human rights laws, let's not forget that. And in monitoring action against immigrants. This has provoked the government into promising new curbs on judicial review of the executive. Such curbs would clearly restrict common law rights under which citizens can ask judges to monitor ministerial decisions as fair, impartial and legal. This monitoring is about to be sorely tested in Johnson's centralisation of local planning permissions, removing one of the last shreds of local democratic choice in British government. Lord Kerr does not come across as a ferocious lefty human rights activist lawyer, as described by the Prime Minister and Home Secretary Priti Patel. His 11 years on the bench have been comparatively quiescent. Now he is joining his colleagues, Lord Newberger and Lord Sumpton, in warning voraciously against the government's Internal Markets Bill and its coronavirus lockdown regulations. Kerr is asserting the court's role not in impeding the laws of Parliament but in vetting their operation. He insists that the legal framework within which decisions are implemented, whether on immigration, trade or planning, must be challengeable. Ministers may be irritated by challenges that may appear frivolous or misconceived, but irritation is not the point. When a law breaks an international treaty, it gives access to unbridled power. In its impact on Northern Ireland, the proposed Internal Market Bill clearly breaks last year's Brexit treaty. This is excused by Johnson as merely a backstop in the event of a no deal. A first-year law student could see that this is no excuse at all. With no deal now clearly on the table, we have a Downing Street pledge of an illegal act. Calling such antics to account is precisely what judges are for. Lord Kerr is correct. And, you know, so this article is telling us in no uncertain terms there is going to be a no-deal Brexit. Therefore, this government is going to implement martial law, because that's what they've said. Martial law. This came from Matt Hancock last year, January 2019. Martial law is on the statute books in event of a no-deal Brexit, because it's going to be bad, people. It is going to be bad. Now, I've been warning you. Michael of Benicia is warning you here. You've got your petition to sign. You get it signed. You get behind this man and you do it now. Because as I've just warned in my previous videos, we have this small window of opportunity for us to get together now and demand our rights, okay, and stand by the law and demand that the law is honoured. So when we have lawful evidence supporting lawful suspicion of a coup by order of a rigged postal vote, okay, then we demand legal action and a public inquiry, an investigation, immediate suspension of this government and all of its criminal acts, and most especially this evil terrorist act, the Kill Bill, okay? We need to do it. As I've warned in my last video, this time next year, there is unlikely to be a Supreme Court in Britain, and if it is there at all, it won't have any powers whatsoever to hold this government to account. They will be literally murdering people. People will be vanishing. Where have they gone? Oh, you can't ask any questions. No. Have they been murdered? They were murdered by some agency. Well, sorry, you know. They had authorisation to do it because that person had posted something on the Facebook and it might have been a threat to the economy. Right? Is that the kind of Britain that we are living in? That we are going to be living in? We need to ask ourselves this question when you're facing this. Right? Do not tell me that this isn't going to be used against all and sundry. Even children, there's not even a clause in it to protect children from this. Nowhere, I've looked through it, there's nothing. Apparently the Human Rights Act will protect children the same as the Human Rights Act will protect us. But no, the Human Rights Act won't be protecting anybody, will it? Because we won't be able to turn to the courts to uphold our human rights. You better wake up, Britain. You're asleep at the wheel. You're asleep at the wheel. Are you a nation so addicted to your bills and your bowders, whether be they medical or illegal? Are you so apathetic? You know, the future does not belong to the adults of today to squander. It belongs to the children that we have brought into this world. And we have a duty and a right to stand up for those children's rights to a future worth living in a lawful democracy with their human rights and all the benefits and advantages that we grew up with. Because, you know, they aren't going to be available for them. And even a reignition of the troubles in Northern Ireland. So that'll be another generation of children growing up in horror and terror and military action. And soldiers not just on the streets in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, but soldiers on the streets throughout Britain. These lockdowns are illegal in face of the evidence. And I'm going to leave a video under here that you do need to watch because these are part of the coup. Okay, the Crown is very, very much a part of this coup. The Crown, the corporate Crown. And, you know, this tells you everything you need to know about SERCO and how the Crown is one of its prime beneficiaries. I tell you, we have got no time to lose, okay? The only people whose time is short are these criminal monsters, okay? We have got no time to lose in bringing these people to justice and holding them to account because they have been murdering people. I don't want to hear about all the COVID deaths. What I know for sure is that I've lost 4 people this year, not to COVID-19. I don't actually know personally one person that has died from COVID-19. I know 2 people for sure that have been tested and had it. One of them, no symptoms at all. The other one, equivalent of a bad cold. Okay? That is what I know. What I know is confirmed by Dr. Malcolm Kendrick. Now, you're either going to stand by the facts, people, or you're going to live in la-la land, or you're going to follow Q and do nothing and wait for the plan, or you're going to get active, you're going to support Michael here, you're going to sign this petition. Okay? It's your choice, people. What can I say? You know, it's your choice. You either ignore, or you take note of the evidence, you put the brakes on, turn the corner away from the edge of the cliff, or you carry on 80 miles an hour in madness, and you will. The force of gravity will take over, and you will drop like a stone, okay? And this whole cabal will come down in a huge crash eventually, and it will be horrible. Okay, so, you know, it's up to you, people. You're either going to pick up the law, pick up your pens, mightier than the sword, sign, pick up your pens, write to your MPs, stand with Michael, or do nothing, carry on, watching the BBC, wearing your mask, okay, waiting for Bill Gates' vaccine. I really don't want to be I told you so, because I tell you, I'd have to spit in your face for being so big ignorant.